All right, everybody. This is Diana with the Misfit Journal Maker. And today I'm going to do a mixed video. I've got about 3 projects people have been asking for. And so I'm going to go ahead and do all 3. They're pretty easy and they won't take very long. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a mixed. So I'm going to start out with doing a simple sew-in of a journal signature. This is my next journal. It didn't start out that way, but since I've been making ephemera that is sunflowers, I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make my next one that. And I had already had a cover that I started a long time ago, and so I still love the cover and I'm still going to use it. So anyway, this is the inside. Not all of it. I'll have to add more to later, but I'm not prepared to do that right now. So anyway, what you want to start out with doing is, as you add more pages, I'm sure a lot of you know this, they come out further and further the closer they get into the middle. And so I always trim mine. I don't know anyone who doesn't. Maybe you don't. It doesn't really matter. But I like to have it so, especially with this, it's going to hang out, and I don't want to have it hanging out. So what I do is I take my, well, let's see how far it's going to hang out first. That will help me. Okay. I'm going to line it up with the white line here. And I'm going to get my ruler. Actually, you know what I need to do? Oh, maybe it'll be okay. I switched this blade yesterday, but I was doing it on cardboard, so I don't know if it's gonna. You know what? It's probably not worth it. I'm gonna cut it off. You gotta have a really sharp blade for this, because if you don't, it will just eat up the paper. And I really don't want to go through that. So let me get my little. I use my jewelry tool to cut this off because I don't trust doing it any other way. Okay. And where can I put these? These things scare me. I wrap them in packing tape and then throw them away, because boy, I would hate somebody to stick their hand in to push the garbage down or something and just get shredded with that thing. Okay, so now that you have a fresh, clean blade and this is all lined up, you're going to get your ruler and you're going to put it where you want it marked. And I'm going to go right about there, I think. And then you just want to hold down. Now, I use this ruler that has a cork back, and that helps for it not to slip. This is like my favorite ruler, and I use it all the time. Okay, so then you want to hold, when you have your in your place where you want it, you want to hold it down really tight. Okay, and then you want to start at the top, and you just want to go like straight down. Whoops, not locked. Make sure your blade's locked, because then it will move. Maybe this one's going to anyway. Huh. It's okay. I guess I'm throwing that away. Let me grab another one. Thank goodness I have a box full. I go through these things like crazy. When I first bought them, I was like, I'm never going to use that many. And yeah, you do. All right, and I ended up with a new blade anyway. Okay, there you go. Now it's locked. Okay, so now we're going to start at the top, and you just want to go down. Why does does that feel like that moved? No, I guess it didn't. I gotta line myself up again. This is the worst part of journal making, in my opinion. I hate it. I just keep going back and forth. And it always, for some reason, at the top gives me a problem. Okay. So see that? We've got a perfect line. And that's what you want. Well, maybe you don't. That's what I want. Okay. So, now that we have it cut to where we want, and you know, if you end up with having, there are a few lines on here. If you end up having some pieces that are not quite right, or they're sticking out or something, I learned this from Pam at the Paper Outpost. I've said this before. Love her. She has great ideas, and I've learned probably almost most of what I know from her. Anyway, you get these little sanding blocks, and you just go back and forth. And it really does smooth it out. And anything that's not right, it's smooth. I've got a few extras that need to come off here. Okay, got those off. Okay, so anyway, that's one of my little tricks that I like to use. All right, now I'm going to take this back, and we're going to check it. And voila, no overhang. Okay, so your next step, okay, and this is, if you don't already have this, I've had this for probably 8 years, I think. I don't even know if they have the same one on Amazon, but they have others that are similar. And mine is a mess. I've got other stuff in here. Okay, this is a little kit that I got long ago. It comes with your 3 different colors of waxed thread, which is what you use to sew it in, okay? Of course, you can use, I've used this one the most. It comes with the awl. This is what you're going to use to put your holes in the journal. And it comes with this little cutter, which I never use. And it also comes with a little thing full of needles. And so we're going to pick out a needle. And I use clips to, if I have more than one signature, or even just to make sure that I have my stuff in the right place, I usually clip it. Sometimes I don't, but. So anyway, I'm going to use on this journal, I think I'm going to use brown. I haven't used brown in a while. So what you're going to do is, you are going to get your journal and open it to the middle. Okay. And luckily, you can take these apart and put them back together again. So that's why I'm doing this on this instead of using white paper and wasting it. Okay, what you want to do with your thread is you want to open the journal to the middle like this. And you want to go 1, 2, and 3 times the length of the journal. Okay? And then we're going to cut. Because you'd rather be too long than be too short. Okay, that would be a problem. Okay, so I'll show you again. You're just going to do 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, and now we're going to pick out a needle, and I like to use the thicker ones because it's easier to see the hole. So let's see. Do I want to use this great big thing, or do I want to use this one? I think I'll use the smaller. I could have added needles to this. I don't know what it originally came with. Okay. And then we want to go ahead and thread. Now, if you want to, you can get a ruler out, okay, and you can put it across and you can make your things all even. Well, I don't do that. I don't have the patience for it. And you know me, I don't like to measure. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and clip this. Gosh, these clips are, there we go. Okay, I'm going to clip that there. Turn this around. And then I'm going to clip this one over here. See some thread. Not thread, anyway. Okay, and then I always do this just to make sure everything's deep down in there. And then you get your oh, I can't ever say it. I want to say owl, but it's all. And I kind of just try to see where the center is. I guesstimate. I don't know if that's a word, but guesstimate. And then I just go ahead and I push it pretty far through because I want my hole to be big enough that I can get my thread. Okay, then I come down here. I don't like mine too close to the edge, so maybe 3/4 of an inch. I don't know. And then try to do about the same here. Okay. So we've got our 3 holes. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but we got those. Okay, so you're done with that now. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start in the middle. This is how I do it. I've seen a lot of people do it a lot of different ways, but I find this to be just easier for me. So I go through the middle, starting inside, okay? And then I pull through, okay? Now you want to make sure that this stays here. You don't want to like end up with no thread there. Then you have to go to the outside and you find your hole out here. And this is challenging, even for someone who's been doing it a long time, to get this one went right through. Sometimes it gives you a lot of problem. If you don't get that hole big enough, you can't get them back through. Okay, and then you want to pull this taut, okay? Okay. Then you're going to skip the middle and you're going to go to the top. And you're going to go through the top one to the outside. Okay? So you've got the long one that goes there. You're going to pull this aside, the middle one. You're going to pull it aside with your hand. And when you go through, you don't want to go through the string. You want to go through the hole, but you don't want to go through that string. And of course, I'm having a hard time seeing it. There we go. Okay. And you want to come up the same hole. Okay? Like so. Which I kind of ripped my paper here, which was unfortunate, but probably won't matter that much. Okay. So we're to this point. I'm going to do it one more time, even if I mess up the paper, just because it's not that big a deal. I can reprint this. Okay? But I want you guys to really be able to do this on your own. Okay, so we're going to pull everything out. Okay, I'm going to restring my needle. A lot of these tutorials, people go so fast that you have to watch it 5 or 6 times before you can actually figure out what's happening. And I would rather go slow and redo it for you guys than to just blaze through it and hope that you catch it. So, okay. So we're going to start one more time. Open it up. You go through your middle hole. Okay. And now I'm going to have issues. Paper's moved. Okay. Okay. So you go through to the outside. Okay. My string is caught there. Okay. Make sure you have some in the center to hold on to. Okay. Then you're going to go to the bottom, find your hole, and you're going to go through from the outside. Okay. Now you're in the middle again. Okay. Want to make sure you still have your tail here. You're going to pass the middle one and you're going to go to the top and you're going to go through. Okay. And now you're going to hold back your thread here And you want to go through the hole, but not through the string. Okay. Okay. Now, that's fine that it came off because we're done. You want to have a piece of string on each side of, this is way long, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to cut it off anyway. Okay, so this middle string here, you want one string on this side of it and one string on this side of it because you're going to tie it. Now you want it taut, so when you're over here and you pull, you don't want that. This string could be getting old, but anyway, you got to make it so that it's very tight, okay? Not so you're going to rip it, but just tight. So now we're going to tie it in one knot, and then we're going to do it the opposite direction. And I tie mine in 3. Okay. And then we are going to, you can leave this hanging and put charms. Sometimes I do that. Some people leave it way down so they can have charms hanging here. It's totally up to you what you want to do. You could even cut it off up here. Okay, that's a personal decision. And now we remove our clips. Okay, and we have our journal sewed in. Okay, and that's it. Now for my journal cover, and I use this quite often. This is a very thick, I don't even know if you call it cardstock. I don't even know what it's called. I've had it for years and I have a whole bunch of it. But this makes really good covers, okay? I can't tell you what it's called. I don't know. It isn't a chipboard. It's not that thick. It's thicker than cardstock, okay? But it makes wonderful covers, okay? So you can see, because I have lace here and such, and because of the color of the cover, you can't really even see the brown, but it's in there. And so that's it. It's very simple. And I just put in some yellow pages in here. You can do whatever you want. You know, that's up to you. And it doesn't matter how many pages you put in. The sewing in the signature is the same, no matter if it's, you know, my next journal. I showed pictures of this yesterday. My signatures each have 17 pages, okay? So that's double of each one for the whole thing. So this is huge. It's going to be even huger once it's filled with all the ephemera. So it doesn't matter if it's this many pages. And as you can see how far off this is? I'm going to have to cut this all down because I want it to go smooth. So I don't know how that's going to work. We'll have to see what's... I don't even want to get started on that one. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that it doesn't matter how many pages you have. You're still going to sew it the same way. And in fact, you can even make yourself tiny little booklets and sew it the exact same way. There are other sewing methods. I just learned one. If you do, I've never done one yet, but if you do the 12 by 12 scrapbook paper as a journal and you fold it in half, there is a different method to do it. It's like a snake type method, and you use, I think it's 5 or 7 different holes down the whole thing. I learned how to do it, but I've never done it. This is the only one I use. It's simple and I use it all the time. So that is the first one that we did. And I hope that you guys caught it and that you can do it after you've watched that a couple times maybe. So I hope. I wanted to make sure I got that done because I've been asked by quite a few people that are new. Got a lot of newbies who are just starting journal making, and they don't know how to do that yet. So, and I'll go on Amazon and try to find a similar kit to this, and I'll link it just so that if somebody wants to pick it up, it's a good one to have. I mean, I've been using it and I've made maybe 30 journals and still got a ton of thread left and everything. So, yeah, it's worth buying. I think it was $8. That's not bad. So, and I think I saw one cheaper not that long ago. So we are done with that part. Now we're going to move on. The next thing I was asked to show, what did I do with the, oh goodness gracious me. Okay, here it is. Okay, the next one I was asked to show is this belly band. Okay, I got most of it ready because I don't want to take up all your time today. And this, I'm going to put up the template. I'm going to be putting this up on the group. And these are the same pockets that I'm using for this, or I use pockets, envelopes, okay? I already cut out these because they're the more, not complicated, but, you know, they're a little bit more to them. This one here, this little bitty tiny thing, if you want to, when you're cutting this out, you can go out a little further on here, just so that it's a little bit easier to bend and to make it when you glue it. I did it like this because I've done it a few times, but if you want to, you can just extend that out a little. It doesn't show this is just what you're going to glue onto. So what you're going to do is I'm going to put this up, and all my templates I put onto cardstock or other paper, and I have a file here, and all of my different templates for everything I put all in a file, okay? And that way I don't have to go searching for them, and I don't have to keep this. I just put everything in here, and then I just go back and reuse them. So just in case you guys, I mean, do however you want, but that's how I do it. Okay, so this will go up on to our group. And then the next thing you want to do is you can pick out whatever you want as far as your lace, ribbon, you know, it can be anything you want. I chose this velvet ribbon, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down to start out with, hopefully in the middle. Now on my other one, I wrapped it around, but I don't really want to do that because it just added bulk. I'm on this journey, right? Journey, I don't know what you want to call it, where I'm trying to not have my journals so bulky because they get very heavy. So I just don't want to have like this 100-pound journal. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to have this huge, heavy journal. I don't think that that's a really, you know, I just want to make it so that it's not so cumbersome. I want to make it a little lighter. So that's what I'm trying to do. Well, hopefully I'll get this in the middle. Let's see. I also don't like gluing velvet because sometimes it shows through, but I think this is okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's start out. Now, I want to lost my train of thought. Okay, when I was doing this, I had several pieces of different type of sunflower pages, different looks, okay? This was connected to this. It was a double page, okay? I was going to use this sunflower, and I decided I wanted all my sunflowers to be the same, in the same thing. So I actually printed this twice so that I could get what I wanted. You can use whatever you want. These I would suggest doing on cardstock. If you do them on regular paper, I don't think it's going to work very well. So anyway, I already traced this out. Let me grab my small scissors. And we're going to cut this out real quick. Now, I originally did this with a felt marker because I couldn't see. And then I realized that's not a good idea, because if you can't cut it, if you don't cut it all off, it's going to be stuck there. If you use pencil, you can erase it if you've got like extra. But with some of this, if it's, like I've said before, if the paper is busy or dark, you have a much harder time. I guess I could get a white pencil or a colored pencil and use that. That might be a good idea. But, yeah, it's kind of a little, like right here is a little hard to see. And these envelopes were just random ones that I've had. And I went through all my little envelopes until I found some that I liked, that I thought went together. And that's just what I'm using. If you don't want to use my envelopes, by all means, find your own and just go to town. But I spent a lot of time trying to find ones that looked good together. So I'm sticking with these whenever I do this particular piece of ephemera. Because I don't want to have to take any longer than I do. I'm always wanting to move to the next thing. Okay, you don't even need, on the template, I drew the lines where to fold, but once you've done this, you really don't need it, because all you're going to do is fold in. And I kind of am careful with this, so that with the cardstock, sometimes you got to kind of make sure that you're where you're supposed to be, because I want it to look good on the other side. So hopefully this is okay. And I do use the bone folder on the cardstock because it's just much easier. I partially fold it, and then like that one's off. It needs to come in more. Okay. There we go. And then the sides are very easy because you just pull them in to meet. Okay. Okay. Now, this is something I wanted to tell you guys. The difference between doing your pockets like this and, yeah, I missed it. I missed the corner of this. See what I'm telling you? This should be rounded. Okay. And also, this you can fold under. Watch me not get it in the right. Let's see. I'll take it. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, unlike other things where you want this part to be the picture and to, you know, show the prettiness, when you're doing these, you want it, when you're tracing it, which I had to redo mine, I had to remember that the flaps and the back side is what is going to show on your piece here. It's not this side. So when you're cutting it, you need to realize, you know, make your flaps have what you want to show. Not here. This is going to be glued down. Okay. Now, the way I'm going to close mine, and I've used this before, is I have little tiny Velcro dots. Okay. And you just grab yourself a dot. Mine are getting old. I've got to get new ones. They're pretty sticky, so I don't use glue. Now you want to make sure where you put it, you're going to have it so that it's in the right place down here. Okay? So that's one side. And let me grab the other. Okay. And I'm going to stick it to this one, Velcroed up. I have the same one. That didn't help me. You can't use the same one. Here's the right one. It's not going to stick to itself if it's the same material. Okay. Good grief. I got something stuck on me. Let go. Okay. So, yeah. Make sure you got the opposite one. And then you're going to Velcro it to each other. And then you're going to push down. And it's shut. Now, these are pretty, after a second, you can just, and they're fine. Let me glue this down. When you're gluing, you want to make sure you don't put a whole lot of glue so that you don't get the glue in the center of the envelope and it won't let you put anything in it. Okay. Okay. So just going to glue this down. I've already glued the others. And I always check. And then we have our little, now this one's a little different because it goes really low. So you have to put it right at the edge, because even then it's, let's see, how did I do this? Actually, I think I'm going to cut this in half because there's just not a lot of room. Maybe when you're cutting this off, and I think I might redo this, is make this a little bit higher, not have quite such a dip. I am going to cut off part of that because there's not a lot of room. You got to put it way up on the edge, because otherwise it's going to stick to here. It's not going to stick to here. So I think I will redo my own template. In fact, after you print this, you could just take your pencil and just go a little bit further out and make it just a little bit thicker. And that would work out just fine. You don't have to go through a lot to do it. Just make it simple. I did the same thing as last time. I'm cutting the same ones. Ugh. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to put this here. And then that worked perfect. So you can either cut the little Velcros or you can make that part thicker. Okay, we've got one left. Okay. Oh, and I did what I always do. I'm telling you, I don't know if I'll ever... I forgot to ink my envelope. So there's parts I can ink, but there's parts I can't because it's too late. But I'm going to go ahead and just do it because I'm going to glue it down, so I'm not going to do it after. I'll only do the parts that are going to show. Okay, and I'm going to do this little trick. If you do this like I did, just put a piece of paper under there. And I'm using the wrong ink pad. Now I've got two the same. Oh, good grief. I'm starting out with a good morning here. Okay. Okay, so we've got that. I can't do right here. That's okay. It's the thing with junk journals. They're not always going to be perfect. I don't know if I could actually... Okay. Oops, forgot the outside. Okay. Alrighty, now I'm going to close this up. Get rid of these. I don't have a lot of space, so I got to put away as I go. Okay, so now is the easy part, okay? You're just going to go ahead and glue these on. And I don't want too much glue because I don't want it to go through the back of the page and be seen on the other side, which it could already be with that one. Let me check. Yeah, see, that's what I don't want to happen, but I can put something there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Let's see how I want to do this. Okay, so just go ahead and press down when you have it where you want it. Okay. You have to put a pocket or, I don't know, something over there on that side. It's really interesting because some of these pages, you can put a lot of glue and it does not show through to the other side. And some, you can just use a little and it still will go through. Okay. Although I don't think I would really do this with a glue stick. That wouldn't be a good idea. I don't know if Fabri-Tac goes through. I don't use it because of the smell. It's just too much for me. And also, my family hates it, so. Okay, so there we go. And let's see if, I don't know if the others will go through or not. But yeah, you can, there's ways to fix that. But I think that looks really awesome. I'm happy with how that came out. And like I said, that is going to go in my sunflower journal. So there we go. That's number 2 down. So I will be putting the template up for that after I'm done with the video and such. Okay, now that I ruined both sponges because I used a different color for what I'm doing next. Okay. Let's see here. Bear with me for just a second. I got to pull the next set of stuff out. Am I still filming? Yes, I am. Amazing. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, someone asked me to do this as well. And that is this little belly band made out of circles. Okay, they asked me to go ahead and go through that, which it's pretty easy. So the first thing you're going to do is, I'm using a 1.5. This is a EK Tools, which I love. I don't like any other brand. They're just very sturdy. They work great. And you could use a 1 inch. It's up to you what size you want to use. Okay. So how I started this is I have a couple different books. Okay. This one has, as you can see, they're pretty thick. Okay. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want any pages that were kind of wimpy. I wanted circles that were going to be, and I also wanted text on as much as possible. Okay. See how easy that is? Just like butter. Love this thing. And that's through 2 pretty thick ones, and it just goes right through them. Okay. I can get 6 out of this. one page. Depends on how big your book is. I guess you could, some people save this stuff and use it. I'm not. I have so much junk. Okay, so after you have all of your circles, okay, I use 6. Okay, this has 6 circles down it. So what I did was, even though the book pages are a little thicker, I went ahead and I glued 2 together. Now you could also, like I said, use cardstock. But then again, like I said, I'm trying to get away from the heaviness of my journals. And this works perfect, okay? The 2 make it just right. So let's see, I need 2 more for mine, what I was working on. And I want the ones with the most text. So anything that's not full, I put on the bottom. Okay, and then because you did it with the hole punch, or the hole punch, the circle punch, they all fit perfect. Okay, I have a lot of extras. I can use that another time. Now, here's some I did previously, okay? And I've already inked those. So I'm going to just ink these 2 real quick. I'm using Gathered Twigs and Mustard Seed, okay? And these are both Distress Oxides by Ranger, Tim Holtz, whatever. I guess they're, whoops, wrong color. Ranger is either part of Tim Holtz or Tim Holtz is Ranger. I don't know how it goes. But anyway, you guys know the inks. Well, most people do. Okay. So I want to ink my circles. You can do whatever you want. It just makes them stand out. And on this one, I even added, because sunflowers have a little brown, so I added a little brown around mine too. Okay. So there's a lot of different people that like have a lot of ideas about like the inks, but I have found I really love the oxides because they just go on so much creamier and easier than the actual ink. But I guess there is there's merit to having both. You can use water with the oxides and do other things with them that you can't with the ink. So, oops, I'm not ready to put those away. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to, I want all my text in the right direction. So I'm going to just lay these out right to start with. Okay. I don't want it upside down. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and glue. And I glued on top, didn't I? Yeah. How did I do this? I can't see through it because, yeah, I glued on top. Okay, so just at the very tip, you don't need a lot of glue. I'm just going to go ahead and try to get them as straight as I can. Okay, get the next one. And I don't want to go down too far because I want them to be the length of my book page. Or my journal page, I should say. You don't have to glue them this way. You can glue them from the bottom. It doesn't even matter. Okay. I'm telling you, I am dropsy today. Okay, so now we have our band, almost. Okay, now all I had was white rickrack. And that is a very easy fix. And I've decided that white is all I'm going to buy from now on, because when you've got ink, okay, you've got your own, you can make it your own. Now hopefully the yellow will work, because I did this with pink. This was white. So hopefully this yellow is going to stick onto this. Let's see, get a bunch. There we go. So this is a perfect way to match everything together too. Wasting some ink, but at least I don't have to buy 5 colors of different rickrack. Okay. Okay, got that pretty good. It's harder to do with lighter colors, but we're good. Okay, so before I put this up, you know what? I don't want to waste this ink, so I'm going to grab a index card and see if I can salvage any, which it doesn't look like I can. Not much. Oh, I know how I can. Okay, this is one of the things you can do with the oxide that you can't do with the, okay. There you go. And then I'm sure I can use this for something else. Add more colors to it, something. See? And then you don't waste it. Okay. But I need to dry it off. All right, I hope this video is not going so long. It was supposed to be short, but somehow, now see, yesterday I didn't take this off and it doesn't want to come off now. That's okay. All right, now, next step is you're going to take your rickrack and we are going to glue it down the center. But before I do that, I'm going to grab my scissors here and I want to cut out this end that's fraying. And I do this. So far I haven't caught anything on fire. I burn the edges because that way it stops them from going anywhere else. And it works. I haven't caught anything on fire, like I haven't burned the house down yet, so we're good. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over and I'm just going to put the glue down the center of the whole thingamajiggy. Except for the last ones, because those are going to hang off, which I did this here. Okay. So you grab your ends and you make sure that you've got the same amount on both ends and that it's in the middle as best as you can get it, and push down. Alrighty. Okay, now you guys might not have this, you might, I don't know. I got this, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I have a die cut machine. It's a very old cutter bug, whatever you want to call it. I paid $20 for it on Buy Sell Trade. And so I don't have a whole lot of die cuts, but I picked this up at Temu for I think 80 cents, 69 cents, something like that. I love this. Anyway, I sat and did a whole bunch of these yesterday. Then I put my mat away, and I'm still going to need it. And I decided on the previous one, on this one, I used hearts, okay? I don't want to use hearts. I wanted to use something that looked like a sunflower. And I came up with this. I took 3 layers, and I did the oxide on them, and I did the middle brown because sunflowers have brown middles, the seeds. And so I left one that I didn't finish, so I could just show you. And I'm going to use my yellow on the 2 big ones. Okay. This time I'm going to try not to waste so much ink. Okay. And then do this other one. I really need to invest in some gloves because this ink stays on your fingers for a long time, even after you wash them. This needs a little more. Okay, so that's our yellows part, little yellow parts done. Okay, and now I'm going to use my gathered twigs to do the center, which is the faux sunflower seed, the dark part. And I know that this doesn't look anything like a sunflower, but I'm going to pretend it does. Okay. So, now, I have such a tiny amount of brads. I've been looking, you guys know, I've been looking for months to find these. They are so incredibly tiny. I don't know where they came from. They were given to me in a Happy Mail probably about 9 years ago. And so I don't even know who gave them to me, so I can't ask where they got them. But anyway, I guess I'm just going to have to buy some, and if they're the wrong size, I'll have to send them back. Anyway, I have this little flower brad that I'm going to stick through here. It's very tiny. Okay, and now we have our little flower. So I glued the hearts right about there, so I'm going to do the same with this. Okay. Oh, you know what else I did? Let me do it. I still have time to do it. Is I added a little brown, just a tad, and I just stuck my fingers in the glue to the outside of the petals. Okay. Well, now I'm going to need more glue. See what I mean about, I know I've seen other people do it. They forget to ink too. I'm not the only one. Okay, so between the bottom 2 is where I'm going to put this one. And let me clean my fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to get this one. They're way different colors, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. And then I'm going to put this one between the top 2. Okay, like so. Now on this one, as you see, I used this really cute, I don't know if this is seam binding or if it's sari silk. I don't know what it was, but I didn't have any in yellow. All I had was this. So I made myself a little bow. And I'm going to glue this in the middle, right here. And I really, 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 really have to get a glue gun out because some stuff is just way better with a glue stick. Now I don't want my, I did this with the other one, but I don't know if it'll work with this. I'm going to hold it down a second. I don't want my bow to be sticking out. I wanted to glue it. Yeah, it worked there. This, I don't know. This sucker in the middle might not want to stay. I wanted my bows to come around and stick on here. So I'm just going to hold this for a second. This is the thing. When you have a hot glue gun, no holding. And art glitter glue does hold pretty quickly, but sometimes on material, you just got to have a little patience with it. The Sari Silk one, or whatever that was, it was very quick to, oh, okay, well, that's good. So there you go. So now I have one for my sunflower journal. And that was so easy. I mean, it's just, the stuff for newbies is just really, really fun, easy stuff to do. And I like it because it's just kind of mindless, and you just cut out circles and punch and punch and punch. You just do it until your heart's content. I mean, you could just punch all day if you felt like it. Like, for instance, look at this. You know, I went through and did all of these yesterday. Here's one I had done a long time ago, purple. And see that little tiny brad in there? They're so small. I just don't know where I need them. I gotta find them. But anyway, you could just spend a day punching stuff out, you know, get your aggression out and just like get out your circle punch, get out your, you know, those old cutter bugs or whatever they're called. It's a lot of work to crank those things. You have to do it by hand. It's not like having one of those circuit cuts, whatever. I can't afford that, but yeah, it's just, you know, it's a fun thing to do. You can mass make these. You know, a lot of people do that. I've never really got into mass making stuff because most of my journals are themed in some way. And I want to get back to just making journals where I can just put anything in them. Doesn't matter about color, doesn't matter what it is. If it strikes me, I can do it. In fact, I think after this sunflower journal, I am going to do one of those. I'm going to do a good old-fashioned Pam from the Paper Outpost journal. Go check her out. Look at her journals. I don't think I would do it quite like her because she's very eclectic. And while I do like most of what she does, some of it is just not my thing. So, but she doesn't have themes. She just puts in all different types of sorts of papers. They don't even have to be straight. They can be, I mean, just, it's whatever. It's the classic junk journal. So I think I want to go back to that, sort of. So after my sunflower one, I will do that because I have got so much ephemera cut out. I can make journals for probably a few years, but it's nothing that goes together. And I've been doing all these matching things, except for I did a butterfly journal that wasn't that matchy, and that was fun. So anyway, I'm talking too much, and now I'm going to be quiet. All right, I hope everybody was able to follow along. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to ask me in group. If you're not in my group, I am at the Misfit Journal Maker on Facebook. Love to have you join. If you're not a sub, I would love to have you, you know, hang out and watch more videos with me. And I appreciate all of you, and I hope you have the rest of the day just wonderful. And until next time, have a good one.